Okay, welcome to the Lobo Den Podcast. We have Christian Royce, who was not in Hood Nerds. I'm just recording the intro.
Oh, okay.
He was not in Hood Nerds, but he was in Live in the DMs. We talk about comedy. We talk about probably having sex. Oh, eating pussy. So if you want him to eat your pussy, DM him, and it'll show you his skills. And then, what else did we talk about? Do you remember?
We talked about eating pussy. We talked about the Comedy Store.
Detroit, the store, Detroit shows.
Comedians
running
we
the
don't
light.
like, kinda. Which I feel like that should be a podcast in itself. Just comedians we don't like. The Chicago lacks beef. Let's bring some beef back, guys.
So bring back the beef. All right.
Bring back the beef.
Lobo Den. Okay, welcome to the Lobo Den Podcast. I'm your host, Javon Diaz. To my left is Christine Ferreira at the Lincoln Lodge. Chrissy, if you're cool. If you're not, then it's Christine Ferreira. It's very professional. And then you're not Hispanic, right? I always ask you this a few times. Huh? Sicilian. Oh, okay. Italians, I consider them like Mexicans. You're ethnic people. And again, speaking of ethnic people.
I thought Italians were drafted by the blacks a while ago.
Sicilians are.
Fair
by the blacks. Look, blacks, Italians, get a little bit closer to your mouth, like a fist word. I want to hear you. Yeah. So
can you hear me now?
Yeah, like a fist word.
I do mumble. I will say that.
Mumble rapper, SoundCloud. So look, we have Christian Royce, formerly of Live from the DMs. Did you do other podcast?
Yeah. No, I didn't start a new one. I don't know. I think me and Joe Madoff were thinking about starting one called the Black Israelites, but we're not quite there yet
because of Nick Cannon.
Is he a Black Israelite now?
He has something going on with Black Israelites. He has 10 kids. He just had his 10th kid right now, 2 weeks after giving birth to all right, name Nick Cannon's kids backwards.
I don't know Nick Cannon's kid. I don't give a fuck. Why?
That's what
cops do. He had with Mariah Carey.
That's what you do now if you get a DUI at a cop. You got to say Nick Cannon's children's backwards.
And plus, they all got...
He doesn't like Jews, right? Is that an Israelite thing to not like Jews? Or is that just a Nick Cannon thing?
I guess kind of like... I feel like... Because granted, I don't know their whole dogma, but I feel like part of their thing is that they're the real children of God and not the Jews, so I guess they don't like Jews. But
because of their competition, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I guess they see the Jews like how the Lakers saw the Boston Celtics, I believe, but...
do you like the... Oh, you're from Michigan. So I don't know. What do you like? Because...
I like Pistons. I like deep dish pizza with the cheese on top. And
who's the guy who got AIDS? Magic Johnson, right?
Yeah, that wasn't even us. Why?
Huh?
Yeah, that wasn't us. That was LA.
But Michigan though.
He went to Michigan State. You're right.
He went to Michigan. Is that right next door to you? Didn't you go to Eastern Michigan? Isn't Michigan
but
State,
University of Michigan was next to me. Michigan State, that's like an hour and 15 away in Lansing. Yeah.
Ypsilanti. I went there once. I didn't get laid, but I did.
You usually get laid in the cities you go to?
I try. I always try.
We all try, motherfucker.
When's the last time you had sex?
Shit. Actually, not that long ago. I think it was 3 weeks ago. Actually.
How did that happen?
Recurring
or was it new? Was it new?
It was new. She was a lawyer. I am high, and
She's a lawyer.
Just a.
How'd you meet her?
Just a thick Wisconsin-ish white woman.
They're thick in Wisconsin. I live up there now.
Yeah. You live in Wisconsin? You come down here?
Yeah, I live in Kenosha. But I work in Elk Grove Village.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. That was a Tinder match. So, yeah. It was. She was cool, but like she was also like going...
She was passing through, right?
It was like a week before she was going to accept a job with the Navy, so I was all like, I needed this anyway.
She had short hair, or no?
Longer brown hair, actually. She was I think she was German, maybe? I don't know.
Did you enjoy it? Did you have fun?
I go hard in the paint. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. I call it, I had what I would used to call was single sex, where like I got to give my best performance because, I want to sleep with you again. Maybe you'll tell your friends I'll sleep with you and then get something going versus now I have relationship sex. Are you ever been in a relationship or?
I've been in situationships, but like I don't think any woman's tolerated me long enough to.
What's the longest you've been with a chick? I've been single my whole life.
I don't know, like 3-4 months, I guess. I guess I wouldn't even call it that. Half of these relationships I get into are just like, hey.
You want to keep having sex?
Because Here's the double-edged sword of being a romantic. Like
Christian Royce, comedian, Chicago. Well, I didn't introduce you. I don't think, but okay.
They know me out here. They know me in these streets. Like, here's the double-edged sword of being kind of romantic. Like, the people you take seriously, but you still have, like, a sex drive they have to fulfill. So it's like, even though you tell them up front, like, hey, I don't want to make this too serious, and they say cool, but cool is always a lie.
It is.
So, like, you can kind of fuck around for a couple of weeks, and then, like, further down the line, it's like, I want you to meet my friends, and that's strike one. That's terrible. But,
because I remember I had one where I was hooking up with this chick, and I thought, like, we were just friends, and we had I was like, I thought she was my friend that I was sleeping with, and and I was like, this is cool. And my friends was like, I have a girl who's a friend, and we're having sex. And then I thought that was the situation, and then like 2 weeks later, she started crying, and I was like, oh, it's not. And that's when it got messy because I was still young, and then it didn't turn out well. Because I thought we were friends, and I told her all these secrets. I told her all my like moves and secrets. Like, oh, this is my friend. And I told her all my insight, and now she knew everything. And it's like, fuck. And I caved in.
I mean, like, at the end of the day, we're just going to have two different perspectives on sex. And this isn't, like, for everyone. But, like, no girl out. Most women don't want to be the girl that's just, like, giving it away.
Give it away. No.
Or, like, on the other hand, for, like, guys, it's just kind of like this thing where it's just really just kind of getting the monkey off your back, I guess. So.
Like coming.
Something like that.
I like the sex.
Even coming, because, like,
having sex, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, there's, like, just kind of like this weird primal element where it's like, okay, like, I maybe get rid of it on my own, but I need, like...
I want what's a movie? Lawrence Fishburne is in it. Boys to Men, right?
Boys to Men?
Yeah.
That was a movie?
Boys in the Hood.
Oh, yeah. Boys in the Hood.
When he's on the phone and he's talking to his mom, and he clicks over and he thinks he's talking to his girl, and he's like, yeah, girl, when are we going to slap some skins? And it's still his mom on the line. Do you remember that? You saw Boys in the Hood?
I saw Boys in the Hood a while ago, but, like... It's kind of one of those things where you see the whole movie once and you're kind of over it.
Really? I've seen it a bunch of times. I've never seen Menace to Society.
How many times you go watch Cuba Gooding Jr. punch air? Like, it's not... It's okay. It's not like...
I know why.
This is not like the greatest hood classic. It's like the greatest critically acclaimed.
It's because you're from Michigan, maybe, I think. Okay.
What does Michigan have to do with it?
Look, so I grew up... I was born in Los Angeles, and I'd spend my summers, so... The neighborhood, the scenery, it felt like not home, but kind of a little bit. It was like, because I have family, it looked like, hey, this is where I kind of grew up. The houses, the neighborhoods, and Michigan doesn't look like that. So that's what I've never seen. Like, I don't like the East Coast, right?
I mean, like, but you can make that same argument for Friday, and I've seen Friday more than I've seen Boys in the Hood, though. Because I just enjoy the movie more.
I think I've seen them about the same around the time. So Friday, but New Jack City, I just saw like 2 weeks ago again.
New Jack City, I can only take Ice-T's weird ass acting so many times.
Really?
That's why he'll get the main lines at SVU.
You know what? I was thinking of Wesley Snipes. I was just because if you watch it,
he's kind of funny in that movie.
He's funny, but he's good. Look, if you watch it, like this, when I was watching it, I was like, good actor, and then. Just not a lot of it. Don't be actors. Like,
sit your $5 ass down before I make change. That's such a. It's not corny, but it's iconic because it's a weird line. It kind of had staying power, but it's just such a not out of place. But like, someone sat down and like, what's like the most overly aggressive black thing I can write down on this piece of paper? Something my mama told me when I was 7. Sit your $5 ass down.
Yeah, there's that scene where it's kind of, now looking back, it's kind of tacky. Where, fucking spoiler, if you haven't seen it, fucking Nino Brown ends up being, because Ice-T tells a story where why he's a cop and why whatever, because his mom got killed by some dude, just shot her, and then Nino Brown tells him the story at the end, and it was Nino Brown who did it. Like, how convenient that.
I want to kill you so bad, my dick's hard.
Yeah,
that's another line. That's the reason why I don't watch that movie.
We watch it with my girl, and she's like, "Wait, what did you say?" We had to rewind it. She didn't believe it, and I was like, "I haven't seen it in so many years." Like, did he just say? What did he say? What's the line again?
I want to kill you so bad, my dick's hard.
Yeah. So we rewatched it.
Goofy but threatening as fuck, right?
but I explained to her, I was like, you know what? This reminds me. This is like Mike Tyson. What is it? Would he yell at the reporter? I'm gonna fucking
something with a lisp.
No, I'm gonna. He yelled at a reporter. He's like, I'm gonna fuck you till you love me. I won't say the F word, but it's men's with agate.
Fuck you till you love me.
Agate. I'll say agate, but that's a real life thing. That was Mike Tyson. But now he's trying to sell his daughter into marriage.
She could probably fight too. That's why. Do you know how many grown ass men she probably whooped for no damn reason, just casually? Like,
did you fight? How many are you? What's your family crew? How many siblings? Mom, dad?
I got one sister. Yeah,
Older,
my
younger?
sister's my only sibling. She's my younger sister.
Okay.
And
You're the big brother.
My two parents. Yeah.
Are you a good big brother? You feel?
I'm a good big brother. I'm a moderate to shitty uncle. I'm trying to be better at him.
Oh, you're an uncle. How old is your nephew?
I got one. Is he 3 yet?
I'm not good.
I think he just turned 3, and the youngest one, he was a pandemic baby, so he is about to turn 1.
Oh, 1 year old. He's a Capricorn. I don't know. I don't know. White women.
Don't put that shit on my nephews. They just got here.
I don't know any.
Oh, that's a Capricorn. He's supposed to cry right now. Like, it's such
no,
a weird.
No. I don't know any of I'm a Taurus. I don't know what that means. My sister's like, what are you? Do you know what you are? Your sign?
I don't know. I go back and forth. I think I had one of my spiritual sisters break it down. I think ultimately I'm a Taurus that has like an Aries moon or something like that. But I have one of those weird birthdays where I was born on 420, so it's really depending on what calendar you're reading. I'm either Aries or a Taurus.
Do you smoke weed, or do you not smoke out of protest of being born on 420 and trying to stand out?
No, I smoke weed. I'm kind of slowing down now because I don't know. I had like some life. You ever had like some life shit? You want to change your behavior?
Yeah, I had it I had a few moments.
Yeah.
Like,
so
what was your?
I'm kind of in this weird thing. I'm not stopping smoking weed, but
Did you have an epiphany, or you had a rock bottom?
It was an epiphany. It's just weird, like just like something happened with one of my close friends, and it's just kind of one of those things. They didn't die. It's just kind of like some private shit, and so it's just kind of get to the point where I just kind of want to evolve. You know what I mean? So
I spent $4,000 with strippers in Miami, and then we didn't have sex, but they did give you.
I mean, kudos to you for having $4,000. Shit,
I had it. So, and some of the money wasn't mine. So I had a property with a friend, and we had a shared bank account just for the property. It was the rent and whatever, anything, and that all went out the window that night. So I used to drink. You're drinking a Truly, but you're not. Yeah. You don't black out. Have you blacked out?
No, I've never blacked out before. I have. I think maybe one. It was twice. I've puked twice. Once.
What do you mean puke twice? You too? Like you're a non-puker? Like you and Abby Sanchez?
I have
There's
a good.
A few of you.
Like it's weird. Like I'll be like taking drinks or shots or whatever, and then like it's like my body. I'll look at another drink. And it's like a spidey sensor go off at the back of my neck. Just kind of like no, and then I'll actually drink it. It's like we told you were gonna get fucked up. Like why did you do it? So. I just have a good idea of my tolerance, and I rarely like really cross that line. It had to be like a good ass night for me to cross that line, and I just don't want to get to the point where I'm like struggling to put down a bottle of water. You know what I mean?
Have you ever gotten to that point? That happened once?
Yeah, a couple times. Like I haven't puked out every time that's happened, but like I've had my fair share of hangovers. It's just I've only like puked twice. Once, it was with my now deceased roommate. I wasn't even planning on drinking that night, but I used to work.
How'd they die?
Huh?
How'd they die? Your roommate?
Just another like it was due to alcohol. But I'm not gonna go that far into details or anything. But yeah, he actually. I wasn't even gonna drink that night. We went to a coworker's apartment. We both worked at Dick's Last Resort. Remember when that was a thing?
That's by the river, right?
Yeah, it was by the river. It's closed now. Yeah,
they did?
It was me, him. You remember when Dwayne Murphy Jr. was still around?
Yeah.
Yeah, he still got me that job. What was that?
He's gone.
Yeah, I mean, like you made it seem like he owe you money or some shit.
No, I don't have a problem with Dwayne.
Okay, yeah. So Dwayne actually got me that job. We became friends. Noah became my roommate, and we were going to another.
Somebody else that Dwayne knows, but not him.
Yeah, We were going to go to another coworker's apartment, and he's like, "Hey, Chris, you have a drink?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm not going to drink tonight." And he's like, "No, you've been a bitch the whole night. It's one thing to call you a bitch, like for not drinking. It's a whole other thing to call you a bitch, like the whole night." I'm like, "It was a slow shift. What the fuck are you talking about?"
Oh, you're at work.
We were leaving work.
Okay.
But they said I've been acting goofy the whole night. I'm like, what do you mean? I've barely been around y'all the whole night. We had tables and shit. So
working.
Yeah, I drank out of peer pressure. Called an ex-girlfriend from Detroit. And I got so hammered. One we were on the Uber home. I had to tell the Uber, like, hey, dude, I don't want to pay $300. Pull over the car. So we pull over at this gas station. I vomit. I walk back, and I just kind of pass out with, like, vomit on my shirt.
300 because if you throw up in the car, they charge you.
Yeah. And I was so fucked up. I forgot I had a friend sleeping over, like, that weekend. So I wake up, and it's just my boy from Detroit, who I forgot wasn't in Detroit, just sleeping on my floor. I'm like, Sean, what the fuck you doing here? And that was that. And I think the other time I just got wasted, like some dude's housewarming party or some shit.
8 Mile, right?
Not 8 Mile. I mean, I'm
I'm talking about the movie 8 Mile.
What about 8 Mile?
Okay, it came on yesterday. My stepson put it on because him and his mom.
You've been holding on that 8 Mile for a minute.
I don't
you
like
heard
8
Michigan
Mile.
10 minutes ago. I'm gonna bring up 8 Mile.
I'm triggered by it. I don't look. I enjoyed it when I saw it. Whatever, 10, 15, 20. I don't know when it came out. Whatever years ago, I enjoyed the movie. I used to like. I like his first two albums. Right.
I like 8 Mile, but like also, do you know how many white kids in my neighborhood were just showing their butt cheeks for no reason because of 8 Mile?
Because of 8 Mile. Right. When did he moon? I don't remember the ass.
It was like the third. It was like the second to last battle. I'll take my white ass back across 8 Mile.
This is the thing. So I was telling her the second battle when he fought, he battled, he rap battled. That's the people don't know it's the Eminem movie. He's B Rabbit, right? And his mom is Nicole Basinger.
Like his mom, the girl that played his mom in the movie, right?
Yeah, it's the going Basinger, probably.
Yeah.
So the battle where he battles a guy in the what is it called? Not V-neck. The white beater. Tank top, right? The tank
fake
top.
DMX?
Yeah, fake DMX. When he battles fake DMX, like I had this argument with my girl and her son. Like he lost. B Rabbit lost that battle.
No,
like,
he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Name one line that fake DMX said.
I don't remember. But now she agrees with me. But he lost that. And then he fights.
How did he lose the? You can't even. At least we know to take my white ass back across 8 Mile line.
But I feel like as a writers, like you're writing the movie, you're making the script.
You can't recall a line.
No, I'm not good at recalling lines or lyrics in songs. Coolio just died.
Your transitions are.
Did you not like? You're too young for Coolio, or
I'm not too. Everyone knows the Key and the Kel theme song. What do you mean?
Oh, that's Coolio.
Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, that's Coolio.
No,
You didn't know that?
Too old for that.
He's in the. You're too old. How old are you?
38.
You're not too old for Keenan and Kel.
I watched. No, I never started watching Keenan. I might have, but I watched the one before that they were on.
All that.
Yeah, I was all that and.
You basically Keenan and Kel. That's prime '90s Nickelodeon right there.
I stopped watching.
You ain't getting better. 2 shows in history.
I might have
actually knocked it out of the park. 2 comedy shows knocked it out of the park in the first episode. It was the first episode of Chappelle's Show. We did Blind White Supremacist. That was the first episode.
That was the first episode?
Yeah.
Tyrone Biggums?
Yeah. that was the one. And then there's Keenan and Kel with I dropped the screw in the tuna. It's so damn funny. And it was the first episode. I saw that. I'm like, they knocked it out of the park like the first episode.
What happened to Kel?
Huh?
What happened to Kel?
As far as I can tell, both Keenan and Kel tried out for SNL. Keenan got it, Kel didn't, and it was kind of downhill from there, I suppose. And Kel was everybody's favorite. That's the thing.
Yeah, because he was the energy.
Yeah, I think there was a rumor that Keenan had something to do with it because he always thought he was a Kel's shadow because Keenan was always a straight man and Kel was. Yeah, Kel was the funny one.
Welcome to
He was the Who Loves Orange Soda.
Yeah.
That dude. So that's why everybody's like, man, where Kel at? Kel. I think he found Jesus. That's what happens to celebrities when they fall off. They find God or some shit.
Are you religious?
Not really for now. Anyway.
What do you think happens when you die?
I don't know. Part of me just feels I like to believe there's a heaven, but there's also like probably a solid chance that it probably just goes dark. But
do you want to go back to? No, you're not Detroit. Do you want to go back to Michigan ever and retire there, or where do you want to stay in Chicago?
I don't know. I think I've been thinking about once I make my money and shit. Either Austin or Atlanta, because LA's a fucking shithole at this point, and then there's New York. I always over glamorize New York, but I think I almost like missed the window for New York. Like if I had got on. If I pulled a Jabuki Young White and just got like a show at the Daily job, and just got a job.
Jabuki Young White?
He was like that small gay black kid that like got a job writing for the Daily Show, and like he was on Conan and shit. And he was just like, I'm gay and adorable. That's pretty much his career, and that sounded like hating. It's not hating, but but you know what I mean, right? Like, he was just a young dude. I think he got a job with the Daily Show like 22, 23. And
what year are we in?
2022.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if I had like pulled that shit, it's like, oh, I'm like late 20s living in New York. Well, maybe that, but like I'm 30 now, so it was like, if I make my money, I guess it's either Atlanta or Austin, maybe
Austin,
Denver, depending on how they do. Austin might be doing okay. If Austin goes as planned, like I know, like it's mostly just kind of like, you know, white dude open micers, but like if you got pulled, I was actually speaking with I took a vacation back home in Detroit, and I had the privilege of speaking with Brian Simpson because he was
who's that?
Yes, do you keep up with comedians?
No, I've been watching the X-Files the last 3 months.
Fair enough. He's a tail end up and comer. Like he's got his following. He just did a half hour on Netflix in that second round of the comedy lineup. He was actually headlining the last show at the Motor City Comedy Festival, which it pays to know people, because the whole reason why I was in Detroit in the first place is because my dad. He wanted to give me Chris Rock tickets for my birthday, but he kind of cheaped out, and he got them in Detroit, even though I live in Chicago now.
Yeah, Tony Rock tickets.
No, they were still Chris Rock, but he said they were cheaper in Detroit. It was like, you know people in Detroit, just go to Detroit. So I went to Detroit. But it worked out because like the door we walked out, because Chris Rock, which great show. The door we walked out, it was at the Fox.
Okay.
The Fox Theater. But behind the Fox Theater, there's a new comedy club in Detroit called the Detroit House of Comedy. I hadn't been there yet because I've been here. But I have a whole bunch of friends that run the Motor City Comedy Festival. So I walk out, and someone sees my face like, Christian, hey, because it's like right across the street from the Fox. I'm like, oh, shit, what up? And so my boy, oh, Lord, I forgot my boy's name. Damn. Anyway.
Russ?
I feel bad. It's not Russ. Zach Bucar. Yeah.
Okay.
Zach Bucar, great photographer out in Lansing.
That's
he
a
was
nice
there.
Last name. I like that. What is he?
It's fancy. Huh?
White dude, black dude? Bucar.
He's a white dude. So,
like Bucar.
you know, black dude's named Bucar.
Yeah.
But he snuck me into the show, and we were just hanging out. And Brian, he was actually telling me, like, yeah, Austin's on the come up. Like, I feel like it's
Have you headed out to Austin or no? You checked it out?
I haven't checked out Austin yet, but, you know, it's smart. Like, if you're moving anywhere for comedy and you're not established, like, either Chicago or Austin's really, like, the smart move. Like, don't go. Every motherfucker with a dream goes to L.A. It's disgusting.
I hate L.A.
Yeah,
Have
LA.
You been out to the
I went out to L.A. before I moved out to Chicago, really just to get it out of my system, because I knew Chicago was the right choice. But, like, you know, there's still that little bug in you because you're young and stupid. Like, I can go to L.A. and make it. And I went to L.A. and I'm like, this place is so nice. I do not want to be broke here. Fuck this shit.
It was nice. What part you went to?
I was just hanging around because I have a friend named Joey Wrench. He's another good comic out there. And we were just hanging out, like, on Sunset for the most part. And so, like, you know, it's nice, but, like, I don't want to.
Is this before the pandemic?
This is before the pandemic.
Okay, yeah. The Comedy Store. That was a cool spot.
Yeah, and so I went there, and I remember the one thing that scared the shit out of me was
homeless people.
I went to not even the homeless people, even though they probably have the sketchiest ones. Shout out to Skid Row.
Yeah,
which
needles.
Fun fact. This girl I dated when I was in my early 20s, she's on Skid Row now. So that's fun. Dog, she hit me up because I posted with my comedy clips.
Heroin, right?
Not even. I don't even think it's that. She's just a goofy. Like she saw my comedy clip. She hit me up, and so he's like, "Oh, it looks like you're doing good in Chicago." I was like, "I'm doing okay. How's LA?" She's like, "Oh, I'm having a good time." "Oh, where do you live?" "Skid Row." Damn. Like she said it so casually, like it's an actual neighborhood. She's like, "I haven't walked past so many piles of shit in my life." Like, yeah, because you're on fucking
Did you
Skid Row.
see Skid Row? Like, I took my friend and I drove around.
Why would I take a plane out to L.A. to see Skid Row?
I had to my friend, he didn't believe
Mitzi
me, right?
Shore had just died. I went almost straight to the Comedy Store. I went there.
No, I just had to go. I wanted to show my friend. He didn't believe me. He's like, nah, He's like, there's no, what do you mean? And I was like, look, so I was like, we're going. And I think I Googled it too. Because it's just Skid Row. I feel like it's on Google Maps. And because I don't know where it's at. So we drove.
It would be on Google Maps.
Yeah. And it's just, have you seen Skid Row, Chris? It's just an encampment of homeless people.
It's just a big one. Like we have like the same shit. You go under.
Chicago's.
Yeah, you go under like any overpass like next to Lakeshore, you'll see like a couple tents and shit, maybe a small community. Hell, not even Lakeshore. You can go to off of Belmont and Kedzie, you can see that shit. Right under right under that expressway. So like it happens, just that, you know, LA is just established because so many people think I'm gonna go to LA and make it, and they're wrong and they'll want to go home. So that, and there's like mental health issues, poverty, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But like a good half of Skid Row was people that thought they could make it with zero to no talent.
And they didn't. Like, if you go, I remember if you go, I was at the Comedy Store. So I would go visit, and I would borrow my aunt's Honda something, and I'd drive to the Comedy Store, and I would just pay the $20 and sit there till 2 a.m. And you see everybody. You see, what's the Canadian Indian guy? Russell Peters popped in at the end, and then
I have so much beef with Russell Peters.
Why?
Because
he's a nice guy. From what I hear,
I've never even met Russell Peters. I was just mad because
he's Indian. Yeah.
No, not even that. Because the guy that used to run Zanies, I'm not gonna say his name, even though he'll probably won't see this. If he does, he probably doesn't give a fuck.
The guy who's in New York, or the guy before him?
The guy who's in New York right now.
Okay.
I was still trying to get work at Zanies, and so someone finally threw me a dime. So I'm like, all right, I got my material, blah, 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 blah. And so I went to go see. It was like, hey, man, thanks for giving me the spot. I hope you watch me tonight so I get some more work. And he's like, oh, man, I'm leaving. I got free tickets to go see Russell Peters. And I was like, Russell? Because, like, again, like, I know he's established. He's, like, real good internationally, but it's like.
He sold out the O2 Arena.
I don't give a fuck. Not Godfrey, not Kevin Hart, not Chris Rock, not Dave Chappelle. You're going to skip out in my big-ass ego. You going to skip out on me for Russell Peters? I'm trying to get work. I'm trying to do big in the city. You going to go see Russell Peters? And, like, I still have that beef. Like
Felipe Esparza, I have a beef with him because of that.
Because someone went to go see him instead of you?
No, I went with a girl to see him, and then Felipe followed her on Twitter. They took a picture.
Your girl got fucked by Felipe?
She didn't. Oh. I don't think I'd feel as bad, but he followed her, and he would have fucked her, of course, obviously, unless he was married. But he's Mexican, so what does that matter? Yeah, that don't mean shit. So then it was my little beef. It was my little. I had a, what is it called, monkey on your back, or I had that with Felipe. Like when I was doing comedy, like full time, I was like, I need to just be better than Felipe. That's all. That was my goal. And the guy from New York, actually, that we just talked about, I had a little mini beef with him because Joe Rogan got on Spotify, and he was like, oh, Joe Rogan, Spotify. He shared the article for the deal, and then I was like, and I commented the Lobo Den Podcast is on Spotify, and he was like, Giovanni, really? Or some comment like that. You don't get tone in text and online, but that's how I took it. And then I was like, there was another monkey on my shoulder. So like, all right, I got to get the podcast to be better. And then, but eventually COVID hit, and so he came on the podcast, and we became cool after the podcast. Because he came on, he was like, oh, actually, you actually know about comedy. Like, this is cool. And then we saw the UFC fights at Zanies, and we had a good time. And then he left you to go see Russell Peters.
Pretty much. So That's why I kind of resent them a little bit. But why were we? Oh yeah, you saw Russell Peters at a Comedy Store. That's another cool thing. If you go early at the Comedy Store, like I think me and Joey got in there for 10. It's like a weird like bargaining thing or whatever. And like all I remember is
what time you go.
All I remember is like us going up there, and the booker looking at something. It's like, okay, I can give you seats in the blah 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 room for like $10
the OR or the monkey room, the stair. Wow, what is it fucking? The chili room, the one upstairs.
I think it was the original room.
Oh, that's my favorite room.
Not like the big room, but like the original room.
There's the main room, the OR, which is the original room, and there's one upstairs called like the Cabana room or the something room. I can't fucking think of it. Yeah. That's where they had roast battle upstairs. That's where it began.
Yeah.
In that upstairs room, the little one.
Yeah, the original room. That's the one where if you kind of look through the curtain, you kind of have like that you kind of see the LA skyline, that crater. That is the LA skyline.
And then you got the piano on the right, and there's no host, and everybody gets brought up tag team style.
Those goofy ass star mirrors, like Robbie Williams, Richard Pryor. Yeah. And I remember being so triggered because in my home club.
I miss the OR. I hate LA, but I do miss the OR before pre-COVID. It was a great time. Continue,
Right.
sir.
I remember being like so triggered because my original club, which is the Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase, one of the greatest club owners
Michigan.
ever. His name is Roger, right? And Roger put the fear of death in open micers for like running the light. That's why I'm so
Good.
disciplined with the shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you ran the light, you didn't see stage time for like 3 weeks or some bullshit like that. So, I just see like not even good ones. Like they had like a whole bunch of like kids that had like managed to get like TV writing jobs or some shit. Like they had a credit, and so they're on stage just like bombing. So it's one thing to bomb, it's a whole other thing to like bomb and arrogantly run the light. And I'm just sitting there like getting hives because like, dude, get off! What the fuck? Because as a comic, you're like one of the few that like knows where the light is. So it's like, oh, okay, that's the light. They're supposed to get off, and they just keep going. There's like this girl talking about, so like my girlfriend didn't call me for like 3 weeks, and I'm like, what the fuck? And blah 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 blah.
Period.
And like, yeah, I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? And then it was all good because Louis. And that was another thing that pissed me off because Louis,
Promontory.
when he was still alive, Louis Anderson
Rest
came
in
up to
peace.
give his respects to Mitzi. So I'm like, I'm sorry, you were holding up Louis Anderson with your bullshit? Fuck you.
At Ann Arbor?
Nah, this is in the comedy store.
At the store. So
Yeah.
there was
I was saying Roger put the fear of God, so I'm saying because of that, I'm seeing like people who are bombing and running the
fucking light.
I'm like, what the fuck?
You weren't around for Jokes and Notes, right? You came after
No,
that?
I was unfortunately after Jokes and Notes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Mary Lindsay, I think it's Mary Lindsay, right? She was the owner of Jokes and Notes. I think she still does stuff at the Promontory. Have you been to the Promontory?
I have not. I gotta go there.
That's a great little
I
spot.
haven't spent like that much time. I've had like isolated incidents on the south side, but I haven't really been out there like that, you know?
So I went to the Promontory. They had a mic, and I remember. So I drove from wherever I came from, Waukegan, or I think it was Waukegan at the time. So I drove to the south side. I came to the Promontory. They had open mic, and I was right on the fucking cusp of going up and performing. And I remember this girl. She ran the light, and not only did she run the light, and because she ran the light, it ended. I couldn't go up, but I remember right before she went up, she was like, you know what? I'm not going to do stand-up. I'm going to do some poetry. And I was like, oh, I drove all the way from Waukegan. I've been waiting all night. And it's like, it was a great crowd. And I was like, oh, man, I was ready. This is my opportunity. I'm going to fucking, I don't know. Maybe T. Murph was there. Maybe wasn't. I know Eli. There was a bunch of people there. It was a great night. And I'm right there. And then, so I had this moment where it's like she's about to go up, and then she doesn't even do stand up, and I'm like, and then I didn't go up because of her. I was right after her, and then that was it. And
I mean, dog, that's just black mics. Like that's why I don't have the patience for that shit. Like
what's that,
that's
3 Doors? That I got on at 3 Doors.
10 door. 10 door is cool.
Is it 10 Door?
Because I like Leon, but like it's
Yeah, Leon's great.
but you have to be patient for that shit because like, and I get it because like. The way black open mics work, they'll always try like market it as like a show.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know,
And they'll put in their hitters,
so you have
the
like a whole
hitters.
bunch of comics that like bomb. You kind of have to add some extra shit. Like I get it, I just don't have the patience for it. So it's like if you're going up like late on the mic, like you'll. Sorry, I thought
It's
I
a
heard
train.
something. Oh, okay, cool.
What'd you think?
So I thought it was like somebody stomping their feet. I'm like, damn, Mike killing. But
Michael Myers is recording next door.
and so like if you're going up kind of relatively early, it's fine. But if you're going up late, you're gonna go past like 3 R&B singers. I got bumped by a bongo drummer one time. I was like, nigga, what the fuck? That's when I left. That's why I left. Again, I have no beef with like bartender or anything, but like it was so late. And then once I got up there, I saw that one chick with like the bongo drum and shit, and I was all like, I'm not. I just dipped out.
I think my first black mic was, he's not around anymore. You remember Sean Monroe? Did you hear about Sean Monroe? He started the Chi-Town. He had the Chi-Town shirt. Sean Monroe. He might have a different name on Facebook.
Was
now.
it Sean?
Yes.
Is it Sean? I don't want to say Shawn Michael, but like, is his thing like he was mentored by Bernie Mac or something like that?
I don't remember, but I remember Darius Kenny got into a fight over him stealing his shit on Facebook or something. But anyways, Darius in Michigan now.
Oh yeah, Darius. When I was in Michigan, I did a little show because I set up a whole weekend over there, just like shit to do.
You know that white guy, Kenneth something?
Greg Kennedy or something?
No, he's
Ken
bigger.
Whitskoll.
Yeah,
he was on the show too.
Okay.
I had him
remember
because it was because the Chris Rock show was on Sunday. I went to a music show Friday. Then Saturday, I was like, okay, I know some people I can set up a little show. So I had Ken and Darius on it. So it's funny you bring them up. But like, yeah, I told
one
Darius.
One of my first shows with Darius. That's funny.
I told Darius, I was like, hey, you in Michigan now? you gotta get used to doing it. But if you want to drive an hour to do some comedy, here you go. Which, if you're a Michigan comic, that's just what you do. Like, you put in that gas and you go. I remember when I first started, you drive like an hour, some change for like 5 minutes. Or 7, actually, because you get more time when you're not in the city. So.
Yeah, same out here. You get over in the city. What you get? There was mics where it was like
city.
3,
It's always
4.
like 4. Sometimes if it's a club and the wait staff want to get out, it's gonna be 3 minutes.
Yeah,
sometimes 2 minutes. And they feel like disrespectful. But out in like suburbs, like kind of rural areas, they'll give a fuck. They'll be like, hey.
And you get paid in the suburbs, not in the city.
Sometimes, no,
not in Michigan.
It depends on the show you're doing. If you get paid, you get paid. But like, it's not a consistent thing. Like, one of the best rooms you'll ever do, it's not around anymore, but you did like Max Bar in Lansing. Like, you do 7 minutes, but it ain't like a paid 7 minutes. You just drove out there. I drove the Max in a blizzard. That's how good Max was sometimes. Like, the best open mics you would do at that level is just like a good bar open mic with like a dedicated college kid following. Those were like the best open mics you would do. So, and your crazy ass head, like, it's a dream and I'm going to do it. And a forecaster would be like, oh, it's going to be 15 inches of snow starting at 11 p.m. I don't give a fuck. And now you're like driving, like following this semi truck, trying not to crash and riding his.
When I had, before I got my my comedy mobile, which is my yellow Honda Fit, and when I bought it specifically for comedy, because it's like low, it's reliable, low not mileage, but that doesn't waste a lot of gas, whatever the fuck that's called.
How bald would you let the tires get?
I got snow tires. I got snow tires.
You're more responsible than me. I would drive, man.
Because
I was a thug in the winter.
I couldn't deal with it because I would drive to fucking
Tires
over
bald
here.
as fuck.
I would drive to fucking Green Bay, and there was parts of the road that were bumpy, but I couldn't tell. So I'm 3 hours away. It's snowing, and I'm like, is that the road? Is that my car? So the whole drive, I'm like, I hated that. Like, I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. So I started snow tires. I have a shovel in my trunk. So I was like, I was ready. I was like, give me any show, Crane's Butter, or wherever the fuck it's gonna be. I'm ready for it. You know what I mean? But
right.
now, when I say my first black room was Sean Monroe, it was a Subterranean. I don't know if Subterranean's around.
Sub T,
yeah, Sub T.
Yeah.
So he was running a mic. It was like Wings and something mic, and then who was on stage before me, who got Sean kept lighting him, and finally got on stage and got him out. Khalil was on stage, Khalil Farouki. And then he went into some rant about the Jews, and then Sean's
that's
like,
Khalil would do.
Yeah,
that's my boy, but that's something Khalil would do.
Remember, and then it's like, and Sean's like, all right, man, you always do this. Enough is enough.
You always do this.
Oh, and then I remember I got up, I did my 3 whatever minutes, and then I got home at 2 in the morning. I didn't go up till like maybe 12:30, but no, that was my first. And I did Jokes and Notes once because Calvin was hosting, Calvin Evans.
Okay.
And I went on one of the coldest
Calvin
days.
been around for a while.
Oh yeah, dude. I did a show with him back in. I met him at a Sonia D show. Do you know Sonia D? She's doing shows.
I've heard the name.
Yeah, we've talked about her on the podcast negatively, but.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully she's doing shows and not scamming people.
Damn. I want to hear the tea, but like at the same time, I don't want to be involved in the tea.
All right, stat of it. So like if you Google Sonia D scam, there was a show where I guess she promoted that she was a stripper in Independence Day. I can't think of her name. Will Smith's girlfriend.
Oh, Gabrielle Union?
No, Will Smith's girlfriend in Independence Day.
Oh, no, Vivica Fox.
Vivica Fox,
okay,
right?
yeah.
Vivica A. Fox, right? So Vivica, it was a show. That's one of them. She was like gonna come, but it was a scam. She never showed up.
Who tries to scam people? Who tries to scam a comedy show with Vivica Fox? Why does she do that?
I don't know, to get people in the door and make some. Sometimes
who's going to a comedy show hoping they see Vivica Fox?
Who had she? So we did the show at the Ramada in Waukegan, and I remember she didn't pay Calvin.
It was in the Ramada?
This is a different show.
Okay.
This is the one I did with her and Calvin, he's funny. B. Cole.
Okay.
It was B. Cole, meet Calvin. This guy, he doesn't do comedy. And BLT comedy, this older dude. I think he's a reverend. He's still around. Brian Turner. So we did the show. She didn't pay Calvin, and then she's like, "Oh, I didn't get as many people as I thought. Well, I'm not paying you, which is not okay as a producer. You got to pay your comics."
Absolutely not. If you promise them money, you got to give them something.
Yeah, and then I remember Calvin told me a few weeks later he saw her, or he called her. He saw her, and it was like, "Oh man," he called her, was like, "Hey, do you have my money?" And then Sonya was like, "You should have hit me up last week. I had your money now, but it's gone." Like,
what do you mean it's gone? Either you have it or you don't.
She's a hustler. I saw her at Starbucks in Waukegan, and I go up to her, and she was showing me. She was like,
"Sorry, at Starbucks in Waukegan."
That's where I used to go. Right, I used to go right, and I saw her, and she was like selling me. It's like, oh, I'm doing this veterans tour and this and that. And I got like when I did the first show, she was messaging me. She's like, I got this marketing company, Giovanni. You need a website. You need this and that, and then we get you on the show. I can draw 500 people to a show. I was like, and I was reading the messages like, all right, this is gas. This is gas. And she was like, I was like, hey, do you have a flyer or something? I live in the area. I can maybe hand some out. I'm young. I'm young, and I'm like, I can help. And then she's like, oh, I have a printing company. We'll get 5,000 out. Because I was like, can you just send me a flyer? I'll print it at work, and then I'll just hand them out. She's like, I got a printing. That never happened, the printing company. And then I remember I was like, do you have a link or a Facebook event? She's like, yeah. She sends me, it doesn't work. And then she's like, I'm like, hey, this isn't working. And she's like, did you type HTTP? And I was like, all right, I'm done. But I remember, hopefully I just saw her shoot a deal. Hopefully she's doing well. But she was on BET, and she is funny, but I think she got too she was looking at the quick buck versus the long term, and then that's, I think, what's kind of screwed her a little bit and put her where she was at. But she's funny. Sonya's funny, but it's like, don't hustle people. Like, you know Jay Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jay, I remember she had the thing called the Midwest Comedy Festival, and the Midwest Comedy Festival was basically a scam where you get young comics, they give you $40, you do a showcase in front of industry, and Jay did a whole post about it. Like industry was like just whoever people that she put up or whatever. Like,
this is my cousin, he a manager.
Yeah, it was like hustle. Like, you're hustling your fellow comic show people. It's like that's no good. And then she maxed out Brian Johnson's credit cards once.
Brian Johnson, who's he again?
Pussy Booty. Bipolar Brian Johnson, Pussy Booty. What's
that
it like?
autistic dude?
Psych ward. What's it like to get whatever in a psych ward?
How did she max out his credit cards?
She gassed them up. I'm gonna get this headliner for the show. I just need your credit card for this and this and that.
Your credit card number, your social security.
Brian goes to a show in Michigan. He drives up there. He does a show. Then he goes to a hotel to stay at the hotel. And then he's like, Mr. Johnson, your credit card is declined. She maxed out his card, so he had to drive his ass back after the show here, back to Gray's Lake. I gave him a ride a few times. He's been on a podcast, I think 4 times. He's coming out next week, but yeah. So don't scam. Do you produce any shows?
I do the Fuck You show here every second Friday.
Okay,
so it's not. I don't think I even can scam with that show. Unless I just straight up don't pay the comics, and I just let me and my Jewish partner keep all the money, and that's not a good look.
Pay the comics. There's like 2 rules I heard. It was like, I forgot who said it. It was
that's the only rule John has. Just like, hey, the only rule I have is don't fuck shit up and pay the comics.
Yeah.
And that's reasonable. Like, especially like in this business, all you have is your word. So like, if people feel like they can't like afford to work with you, that's gonna be bad for you in the long run. So I'm not gonna just like, hell, even I ran that situation the other day because I fucked up that show I told you I did in Michigan that Saturday. I had fucked up.
Was it
because I did it, huh?
Lansing, right? It was there. It was in Lansing.
It was in Ipsy.
Okay.
But I had fucked because I teamed up with a production company, and I thought they were going to handle all the promotion, and they kind of did, but it didn't really like pan out like it was supposed to. So, so that was my bad. But all my comics were there, so I was like, hey, you know what? Not everyone showed up. I'm gonna still see if I can get y'all some money. At the very least, like even if the show don't show up, you gotta give somebody something. You gotta give somebody gas money for coming out.
Something, dude.
I'll give people. I'll give money out of my own pocket. I'm not gonna like say I'm gonna pay you, and then shit goes like, oh well, shit out of luck. Fuck that. That's not how you do business. At the end of the day, all you have is your word.
Yeah, it's not how it works. And the other rule was, don't run the light. Do your time. Don't run the light, which is basically the same thing. But there was another one. I forgot who said it. It was like I was trying to tell my friend. There were some golden kind of rules, like you've run the light, right? An accident, or have you done it on purpose? Or are you arrogant?
Not on purpose, but like I kind of
not excessive. You're just
not
finishing
excessive.
A joke. Yeah.
Like there are some arenas where I know, okay, I can finish this joke because like I don't want to say I'm a professional. I don't get paid like one, but like I've been doing this long enough to know where it's like, okay, there are some rooms where it's like, okay, I can finish my jokes at the second come out clean, and there are some rooms where like, no, when the light goes up, you wrap that shit up and get the fuck off. Like,
or you've done this, like that last joke you think it was gonna hit didn't hit, and you're like you try to squeeze one more.
No.
Try to squeeze that last laugh. I've done it in the past. I don't do it anymore.
I have a couple of quick bits I could do in case that happens. But like I generally ask for a 2-minute light, so like I try to keep that in mind. So like at the very least I do like 2.5, 3 or something like that. So it is what it is. Sorry, my phone blowing up for some reason. But
do you think you'll have sex tonight?
Not like that kind of blowing up, but I don't know. Hopefully I have sex soon. That would be nice.
Do you go out? So I haven't gone out in a while. Is it just all the apps? Do you go out? Like, where do you meet?
Dude, I don't even blame it on nothing anymore. Like, it happens when it happens. I feel like that's how you get when you're 30. Like, at some point, you have to grow out that whole hunting for pussy mentality. It's a matter of.
But you were in it, right? It was fun when it was in it. Like, when I was eating Tunnies, it was fun.
It wasn't even fun when I was in it. Like,
I had fun. I didn't get laid, but I had fun.
You can't even enjoy yourself when you're out because you're so focused on, like, just like, like, no. Like, yeah. I don't even.
Did you dress? Did you have button-up shirt? Did you have a certain...
I was a sweater vest guy myself.
Oh, really?
But, like, it's a matter of... especially, like, being a comic, I feel like once in a blue moon, you kind of get it based off that, and that's fine. But, like, I'm kind of glad I've 85%, like, grown out of the whole... Oh, we're going to go out to, like, find some pussy. Like, either I'm going to drink with somebody or I'm staying home. At the end of the day, other than like that way, I guess it's kind of apps. It's not Tinder. 85% of the time is Hinge shit. So,
isn't Hinge your soulmate type of shit or no?
I mean, kinda like it. Which I always felt like that was kind of thirsty. Like those girls that put like, I'm looking for a life partner. Okay, slow down. Like it's such a weird.
I'm not. How do you feel
you
about?
Don't build relationships by You don't look for a life partner unless it's like culturally where like the connection doesn't matter as much as the arrangement. But
I don't like what is it? I'm not here for hookups, which I get it, but it's aggressive. You see those girls on Tinder where they're just I'm
not here for hookups. I ain't here to play no games, no liars, no baby daddies, all caps and shit.
They've been through it, dude. I see them. It's like
because like they can do whatever like. Us men, we have to come off as pleasant. Otherwise, we ain't going nowhere. Girls have that overconfidence. Like, dog, I could come out as a fucking Nazi. I'll still get 3 hits a day. Yeah. Like, fuck the bullshit.
My friend, she went out with no picture, and she was getting hits. And she was like, you don't even know how I look.
There's pussy in there somewhere.
Oh, Michigan. So, Ypsilanti. That's where I learned that guys will fuck. I mean, I'll fuck anything. But I didn't really except for that girl. But I didn't realize when we were out at a bar or club in Ypsilanti, my friend got punched in the face, and then we went back to that girl's apartment, and there was this big chick. She was big. She was like 2 Patrice O'Neills or 3.
Like sloppy big. Like was she like cute and big or just like
no?
Because like a lot of girls can be big and they can like work the shit, but if she was just like,
I don't like saying
she was
this.
Like big and not giving a fuck, like.
I don't like saying this, but this is what it looked like when I walked by the room on the bed and I just saw her. It was a Jabba the Hutt. Like that. She took over the whole, and I was just, and I saw, and I was like, whatever. And then there's this dude we were with. I thought he wasn't a bad looking dude, but then I saw him go into that room, and then the door closed. And I was like,
dude, what you gotta do.
And I never realized there was that level of thirstiness or like just don't give a fuck. I was young. I was young in the game.
I feel like we've all been there. I was actually the first time I was there. It was in Chicago. It was I remember the day. Dwayne Murphy Jr. was still here, and like Power was going, but Ghost hadn't been shot yet. Mm-hmm. Like that kind of era.
Oh, Power, yeah. I thought you said Power Hour. Go ahead.
And so I was watching at his place. And so we've been drinking. I'm like, Dwayne, man, let's go out, dog. Find some pussy. Let's go out, dog. And Dwayne's like, nah, I'm home. I'm not going nowhere. So I'm like, fuck you. So I went to the Owl by myself. And I wasn't even interested in this girl the first like 5 minutes. And I was talking to these guys. And the debate was who was dressed better, Darkwing Duck or a pimp named Slickback.
I don't know Slickback, but Darkwing was he part of that crew of John Magic Juan and all that?
No, the Boondocks.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
My name is a pimp named Slickback. You don't remember that?
I know the show, but I didn't watch it. I'm too old. I know the Boondocks.
It's one of Cat Williams' greatest achievements.
Cat was in that?
Yeah, he did the voice for. No, it's a pimp named Slickback. You say the whole thing. Like,
I watched a Super with Eddie Murphy, but like,
fair enough. But and so then she was like the only black girl, she was the only black person at the bar. So I turned around like, all right, who dressed better, Darkwing Duck or pimp named Slickback? She's like, I haven't seen any, but she gave me those eyes, but I was too drunk to realize it. I was like, whatever. So I turned back, and then like she did like this weird spider thing on my shoulder.
Ooh.
So I'm like, here we go.
Did she have nails a little bit?
She had nails a little bit too. And so we went to another bar, and then we're like making out in the back with Uber back to her place. And it was kind of, you ever wake up? You ever like wake up and actually there's no analogy for it. I just remember when I woke up and her mattress was kind of high. She had like a double like box spring or some shit. And I woke up
it's pretty high.
And like, yeah, her bed was high, and like I was sitting next to the window. I just remember waking up, my dick was out next to the window. And that's a nightmare most men. Like, you don't want your flaccid dick just out for the world to see. That's not a good look. So I remember having to climb over her. And like the hardest part was trying to find my underwear. All my clothes.
You can never find them.
You can never. All my clothes and shit were easy to find. It was just like, I can't complete the outfit without my drawers. I need to get out of here, man.
Motherfucking article.
So now, like, I'm tiptoeing. Like, it was like a game of what's a good game where you're not trying to wake something up. Don't Wake Daddy or something like that. That was a board game or something.
Catherine Zeta-Jones was going through those lasers in that movie. Remember?
Yeah,
like, her Mission Impossible
like
style.
tiptoeing around, balls dangling and shit. Like, I need to find these underwear. I'm not walking out just denim on my dick. I'm not doing it. So
I've done it. I've done it plenty of times. There's always, I don't know what happens to the fucking underwear, dude. Because you're in the moment and they go. So you think they're at the bottom of the bed. They're under. I can never find that fucking underwear.
But one thing about me though, I'm kind of like a cat burglar. I'm kind of like a cat burglar with my one night stands. My trademark is that I'll always take a snack on the way out. I'll tiptoe out, and like their bedroom is always next to the kitchen. I don't know why that is with me, but I like go through the kitchen, and I'll just see like, ooh, a juice box, and I take that.
I do miss those days. I remember one time this one lady, she gave me the whole thing of Ferrero Rochers. Like a whole thing.
Oh, must have some Ferrero Rocher dick. Good for you.
I mean, she was an older lady. The kids were coming home. You know what? It reminded me. You know the Patrice O'Neal joke about the bit was a corporation, right? He's like, I don't have any
favorite bits.
Yeah, it's like the only open I have is 1 to 2 a.m. You come over, you suck my dick. I take your last
1 to 3 a.m. You come over, you suck my dick. I drink your last Snapple.
Yeah.
And I leave.
Yeah. I was at the girl and I was like, I'm leaving. I was like, I gotta go. I was like, you have anything to eat? I was like, I got these Ferrero Rochers. It was the big one. And I was like, this is perfect. I ended up giving those to girls over the next few months that would come over.
You gave your next dates your free dick Ferrero Rochers. Yeah, you insensitive bastard.
But I was like, do you have anything to drink? I was like, no. I was like, I have water. And I was like, do you have any like pop or juice? I was like, well, I have one snap. I have Snap Bars for my kids. I have one left, and I was like, give it to me because it was in my head. I was like, oh my god, I'm doing the Patrice O'Neal. Like this is perfect. I was like, so she gave me. I felt like a man. She gave me that last Snapple. It was very Patrice like. It was. I was proud of that moment. So and it was Diet Peach Tea Snapple, which it's the one I used to drink.
I kind of miss my older white woman now. Damn. No, because
she was older Colombian, and then I met her. I saw her at church because I went to church for 3 months because I was trying to have sex with this Christian lady, but it didn't work out. But then she was there.
You had sex with a churchy Colombian girl?
She went to church, but
I know she had a fat ass. Like I know
she
what?
And she gave horrible head, a lot of teeth, and she was 40 something, and I was like, or 50.
Well, I mean, like.
It was weird because
she was in her 20s and the 80s. That like sucking dick was still an option back then. She was probably just starting. She was a novice.
That is a good point, right? That is a good point.
Like how dudes now are terrible at eating pussy because Lil Wayne made it okay in 07 and we're just now getting decent at the shit. Me, I'm immaculate. But I'm saying as far as like the whole male gender.
They're very, I think they go too hard. They're like, it's not sandpaper. It's very.
What do you mean too hard?
Too hard. Too hard.
Are we talking about eating pussy or sucking dick?
Eating pussy? No, I eat pussy.
Oh.
I've never sucked dick.
I mean, if you gotta drink a glass of wine, I don't know how you're getting the sandpaper effect. Like,
not the sandpaper effect. That was a bad analogy, but you're going too aggressive.
You talking about
what I've heard?
Wait, are you one of them that literally like licks the clit like that shit?
No, but I heard from my female friends, it's some dudes. There's the dudes that say like, "Oh, I'm gonna eat pussy," and then it's like it's aggressive and it's not good, and it's like, all right, it's enough. Get off of me. This is from what I'm getting from the females.
That's because they, like, I don't know why dudes don't just lean to their instinct with the shit. Like, man, just, suck the like that's half of eating pussy. You just gotta suck it like it's a little dick or some shit. But not like that. But like it's a little dick. Like you got like it's just like you kind of stimulate a little bit. Don't go straight for it. You kind of have to tease it a little bit, and then just kind of go in. You're like you. What's a good? Remember the push-ups, the Flintstone push-ups?
What's a Flintstone push-up?
You remember dude? How old are you?
I remember, man, I haven't seen the Flintstones in many years.
Yeah, but like the little push-up bar, like the push-up ice creams and shit.
Oh, I thought you were talking about in the cartoon. Fred Flintstone used to do push-ups and work out. Yes,
ice creams and shit.
I remember that.
Like, yeah, it's like the same mouth form. Like you kind of like it's not like eating as much as it's kind of like I don't know. I'm going too much into it, but
You'd eat ass?
Absolutely not.
No, right?
I'm not eating ass until marriage, and even then, you got to give me a couple weeks to prepare.
And you don't like you're getting your ass eaten, right?
I'm not eating strange booty. Let's say that.
Is your booty getting eating or no?
I would never ask that of someone I love. Like I know what comes out of there, and I know what kind of maintenance.
Maybe after a shower
it requires. No, I mean I just cleaned it, so now I got to clean it again after
I like eating ass. Do you have any last words and then plugs? First
last words? I don't know. I feel like someone's going to critique my pussy eating technique at some point. So
and be like, DM me and
you don't know how to eat pussy. that kind of shit. I don't know. Last words. The Fuck You Show every second Friday at the Blue Room in Lincoln Lodge.
Which one's the Blue Room?
Really the best show here you'll hear about. But
the best. Literally the best. The Blue Room's the one over there?
Yeah, the Blue Room's one over there.
Okay.
Like. And I'm talking about like even fuck all the other shows, cuz Fuck You Show. Me and Adam Quaslow, we go up there, we swear and we spit, and we have funny ass comics. Sorab Faruzesh is I think I'm one of the only comics that got his last name right. But
I can't say his name.
Faruzesh?
He's in town. He's living in town.
I don't know what his situation is. I think he's like back and forth between Chicago and LA, but I think he's here for a couple months at least.
He's from Michigan too, right?
I don't know. Me and Sorab haven't hung out like that.
Damn. Social media?
Just focus on my Instagram because everything else is shitty. At Christian Royce _ not the rapper. That's my Instagram. I have a whole bunch of clips and pictures, a whole bunch of pervy shit in my story. It's fun. It's a great time for the kids.
You know
and
Prince
family.
Royce? You know Prince Royce, the bachata guy?
No, but he's not. There's actually another rapper named Christian Royce. That's why my tag is Christian Royce _ not the rapper, because he's like the antithesis of me. It's like I'm Fat Boo and he's like Kid Boo. Did you watch Dragon Ball Z? Because you've been disappointing me this whole podcast.
My stepson watches it and other people do. I know of it.
Yeah,
and they went to see the movie. Yeah.
I'm old.
He watches it. I'm older than you, but I don't.
I know, but like, even still, like, I feel like
everybody around me, all my friends do. It's just I'm the other guy. Like they went to see the movie. It was like, hey, you can go. I can go with him, or my girlfriend go with him. His mom. And she's like, you want to go? No.
Did you see? What was it? What was the new one? Did you see Superheroes? Did you see the Broly one?
What's that?
Did you see the?
I'm not a hood nerd. I'm not really into comics and
hood nerds. That was a good.
That
era.
was before you, right?
I was around. He just never put me on it because there's some haters. But
fuck you, Jarrell.
Fuck Jarrell. Fuck Rodescu. Fuck Ty too. Damn it!
Was in it, right? He just fought, dude. Congratulations! He just won his kickboxing fight. I just saw that.
Yeah, man. Put me on hood nerds. I'm a hood nerd. It's like, yeah, maybe.
I saw a few animes when I was younger, but then nobody watches them. It's Guyver, and then
there
something.
Was a MacGyver anime?
No, Guyver show. He had like a thing. He opened his chest and he would shoot. Guyver show for Kamachi, Fifth of the North Star. Some white dude.
I need to watch Fist of the North Star.
Yeah,
that's a good 300 episode, right?
So white, and then my friends all watched Ninja Scroll, and there was like a weird rapey scene that I didn't get to see.
Yeah, that old school anime will have that rape.
And then I got into like a little bit of hentai, and I was like, and then I pulled away.
A little bit of. Yeah, you can't go that far down.
Then they went, then they get deep, and then I got aggressive. It got too aggressive for me.
You gotta draw the line of humans. That's the masturbation line. Like, hey man, they're human.
Yeah, I masturbated hentai once or twice, and I was like, I think I'm done. So
we all venture out from time to time, but just don't make it a habit, because then you'll grow a neck beard and shit. Like the rest of your beard will disappear, it'll just be all neck and shit.
So I'm done. But I did want to say one Chris. You were Chris Rock. You saw Chris Rock. He did have this joke I loved. It was about fat white women and fat black women. Do you remember that one? It was like fat
black women love the fact that they fat.
Yeah.
Ankle fat falling out the pump.
Yeah, they're fat. They go out everywhere. They got the pumps out. Fat's coming out of the pump. He's like, what is it? A white woman's 500 pounds. Like, she haven't left the house in 4 years. So I used to love that joke. All right, follow the Lobo Den Podcast on Instagram, TikTok. Follow the Patreon, $3 a month. Support the podcast. Should I go to only Patreon? I don't know. Other people are doing it, so I'm thinking about it. If not, just support so I can keep helping God.
He needs to keep his headphones shiny, so please support.
Yeah, please support. And then again, support the Lincoln Lodge. And again, to my left is Chrissy Ferreira and the other social media. I think that's it. Okay, Lobo Den.